Hello learners of class 12, welcome to the wonderful world of English language classroom. Learners, we are doing the 8th lesson from your textbook Flamingo. The title of the lesson is Going Places. We have done the first part, we have read and understood the story, appreciated the story and reflected on the story. Now, in part 2, in this part, we will do the vocabulary and some grammar, that is noticing form, present participle using ing and writing if time permits. So, before we move on to understand what we will be doing, that is vocabulary, we will revisit the text to understand the vocabulary and use it in real life purposes, then do some grammar, noticing form, then writing. Learners, to do these activities of vocabulary, some grammar and writing with you or me, Meghanathan from the Department of Education and Languages and Kriti from the same department.
Hello learners, and thank you sir for having me here. I am looking forward to do the second part of the chapter Going Places with
very
you.
Good, very good. Okay. Kriti, let's do something.
Yes, sir.
Let's recall the story, kind of recapitulating the story, Going Places. So, quickly let's recall the story. Come
Sure,
on.
sir. So, Going Places is a story about Sophie, who is a teenage girl and she dreams a lot. And like we have seen, she is creating a scenario where she has met Danny Casey, a famous soccer player. So, they are at the beginning of the story, Sophie and her friend Jancy are coming from school and they are going to their houses. And her house is also described in such a way that it looks untidy and some unfinished work is there in the house.
Yes, poor household.
Poor household like unwashed utensils, and there are 5 members in total in Sophie's family, that is Sophie herself, her younger brother Derek, her elder brother Jeff, her father and her mother. And she is much closer to Jeff, and she talks about him, about her dream and about the fantasy she has about.
She believes it's true.
Yes, she believes it's true. She creates a kind of a scenario where she tells Jeff that she has met Danny Casey at the arcade, and at the beginning he does not believe Sophie and he's shocked, and but afterwards, like how Sophie creates the whole story of meeting Danny Casey, Jeff agrees that okay, you have met Danny Casey, and he tells her father and also her friend Jancy. But Jancy on the other hand is someone who is
It's practical. She is practical.
And she doubts Sophie that she has really met Danny Casey. And she becomes sad at the end of the story. We see that she is walking away from her home to a very lonely place where she is present, and she again fantasized the whole scenario where she met Danny Casey apparently, and she has a lot of idealism for Danny Casey, and she's also describing the character of Danny, that he has green eyes, he has a good physique and everything about him. So, this is basically a story about 2 teenage girls who have contradictory personalities. One girl who is Sophie, who is a daydreamer, and the other girl, which is Jancy, who is a practical girl, and this is how all the characters are reflected in the story.
Fine, well done. Thank you Kriti for doing a recap of the story for the benefit of learners. Learners, this is part 2, so we assume that you have read it, then understood the story. So, now we will take up some of the words and usages the writer applies to make the story interesting. Come on, if you look at some of the usages, let me read out, you can see it as it appears. When Sophie describes her brother, she says, words had to be prized out of him like stones out of grounds. So, words had to be prized out of him like stones out of grounds. What does it mean?
So, it basically means that Jeff, her brother, was such a quiet person that to make him speak, it was a difficult task.
Okay, fine. And sometimes we have to give him money, then only he will speak.
Yes, yes.
Paisa dena padega bolte Hindi mein. Okay, then look at that. Keep that. We will do it. How the author uses words had to be prized out of him. Then next one, very interesting usage. Sophie felt a tightening in her throat. When will you feel that someone puts a hand and tighten your throat? So, when you are?
When we are tensed, when we are anxious, when we are feeling a lot of anxiety
and trouble.
Yeah, and trouble, we feel that our throat is being tightened.
Okay, okay. When Jeff tells their father
Yes, sir.
that Sophie had met. Then she never expected him to tell her father.
Yes, yes,
their father. So she felt like red-handedly caught.
Yes.
So that's what choking like. Then look at the third usage. If he keeps his head on his shoulders, he could win much better. So what does it mean? He could keep his head on his shoulders. Means he should think and act.
Yes, sir.
Shoulders generally we act. Shoulders is the muscle power, but head is the thinking.
Thinking,
so
mind
one of the spectators, fans of the cricket, soccer match, says that Cassie is playing very well, but he should think. That's what he says. If he keeps his head on his shoulders. Then look at next one. On Saturday, they made their weekly pilgrimage to the United.
So, this basically means that there is a custom of people who goes to church every weekend on Sunday. So, they were so, the whole family of Sophie was so into the game of soccer that it was a customary ritual for them to go every weekend to see the United.
The way we Indians do with the cricket.
Yes,
some film heroes.
Films basically. Yes,
so
sir.
they made their weekly pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is a religious kind of travel to a place.
Yes, sir.
Then to pay this one worship and to pay their this one kind of thing. So the whole family went to watch the soccer match, football on Saturday, in which the United win. Who played? Her hero played. Danny Cassie played. So, look at the next usage. She saw him, that is Danny Cassie, ghost past the lumbering defenders. So, he passed the defenders like a ghost and hit the goals. That is what. Now, I am going to ask Kriti.
Yes, sir.
And the learners make some sentences using the usage, the phrases or the in a kind of it's kind of sentences he is using, the writer use them in your own sentence. Look at it. I am going to ask you the first one. Words had to be prized out of him like stone out of grounds. So, how will you say?
So, I can say my friend is very calm person. He speaks very less and words had to be prized out of him like stone out of ground.
Very good, very good. So, your friend is a calm, quiet person. If you have to make him speak, it is like words have to be prized out. You have to pay him to this one, like there is no stone on the ground. You have to find stone, a ground which is completely empty. Now, next one, she felt like a tightening in her throat.
When he was found guilty of telling lies, he felt a tightening in his throat.
Okay, that is quite natural and you are caught, that is right. Then next one, he keeps his head on his shoulders. Can you use it in a sentence? Suppose if you give an advice to your friend or younger people, younger brother, so he is acting so what's it, muscle oriented, means action oriented. So, what will you tell him using this phrase? You should keep your
head on your shoulders, so that you put your mind into what you are doing.
Very good, very good. Then next one, weekly pilgrimage, use it in a sentence.
Cricket in India is like a religion. People go to watch cricket matches like a weekly pilgrimage.
Very good, very good. That's good. So, I don't know what going like a pilgrimage is good, but you have done it well. Okay, next one. She saw him ghost past the lumbering defenders. Ghost past.
When Ravi is in the field, you can see ghost past the defenders and making his goal in hockey.
Okay, hockey. Hockey is our national game. That's good. At least you used hockey. Fine. All right. This is how learners, a writer uses language metaphorically. This is called figurative use. Suppose you say that you are the, suppose someone praises you are the queen of the world. So, that is a kind of a figurative language. You are the beacon light of the world. We say that to Florence Nightingale.
Yes, sir.
Let's say it was when Gandhi was assassinated, Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, said, "Light has gone out of our lives." So, this is how it is a kind of figurative use to make an impact. So, writers use it, learners notice it. When you become a writer or when you write something, use such figurative language to make it make a story to attract the readers and also provoke them to think. That is what. Fine. All right. There are lot more usages in the text. Learners, you read and try to use it in real life purposes. It's one thing is learning something, but using the same thing for purposes. Language is learnt by using it for purposes. Fine. All right. The next thing we will do here is, in this lesson, the writer is, we call it postmodernist writer, means contemporary writer. He attempts to bring in the contemporary problems and not confined to a conventional kind of writing.
Okay, sir.
Or conventional aspects. In those days, novels were written on rich people, king, celebrities, big people, but novel was brought to kind of, we call it sociological novel, social
sir.
life. That happened from 19th century. If you say the Victorian period, even before, the common man became the hero of the novel. So, and the language of the short story novel also changed. Here, look at it, the writer is employing a different kind of usage to convey something. So, let us look at it. One of the techniques the writer uses is ing form. We call it present participle, coming, kind of coming, linking, liking, going. So, let me read out from the book. Look at it. Sophie says in the beginning of the story, when I leave, Sophie said, coming from school, I am going to have a boutique. Look at it. When I leave, Sophie said, coming from school. When I leave, she said, coming from school. What does it mean? She said when she was coming from school.
Yes, sir.
So, the writer has dropped was, but only using coming from. Then look at it. Next, John C. linking arms with her along the street looked doubtful. We can, how will you say, Kriti?
Yes, sir.
It can be said in two sentences. John C., who was linking with her along the street, looked doubtful. John C. was linking arms with her along the street. She doubted, looked doubtful. So, same way, look at John C. knowing they were both earmarked for the biscuit factory became melancholy. Look at that. John C. knowing that they were earmarked for the biscuit factory means, earmarked means you mark it and put, oh, when time comes you will be doing this job.
Yes, yes.
So, look at it. John C. knowing they were both, John C. was knowing, but the author says knowing. So, now there are so much such kind of usages. Now, learners, we are not going to ask you to do some activity, but notice it when you read. That is what the book also says, noticing form. Noticing form. So, you notice form. How do you learn grammar? First you say, oh, suppose I say, let me take the trivial grammar. He goes to school, I go to school. He goes to movie, I go to movie. Then immediately the young learner will note, oh, when he only for he is adding yes or es. So, this is what noticing. I have been living in this place. I say that I have been living in this place last 20 years, 10 years, 15 years. Oh, then the child notices have been is used for a long time activity which is continuing. Now, Kriti
Yes,
and
sir.
the learners, please combine these two sentences into one by using ing form, that is present participle. So, here are two sentences only for you. Ravi was thinking of his future. He told his friend, I will be a writer when I grow an adult.
Ravi was thinking of his future. He told his friend, I will be a writer when I grow an adult.
Okay, change it now.
Thinking of his future, Ravi told his friend, I will be a writer when I grow an adult.
Very good, very good. Now, the next one. Then let me read the sentence again, the two sentences. Shren was looking at her friend's work and asked her, how did you get all information for the essay?
Looking at her friend's work, Shin asked her, how did you get all information for the essay?
Very good, very good. Well done, well done. Learners, let us learn to use the ing form, that is present participle, to put together two ideas and two sentences to make an impact on the reader. Suppose say that he was lying on his bed and reading a newspaper. Say, lying on his bed, he was reading a newspaper. This is another kind of putting together. So, we will not say reading the newspaper lying and he was lying on the bed. So, one action you use present participle, the other action complete form. So, you can see that. So, why we do it? It also tells Kriti the action is moving. You must have noticed in cricket commentaries, if you next time when you listen to it, you pay attention to it, you pay attention to it, and when the bowler or the fielders run fast, the commentators use present tense. When they are doing it slowly, they use present continuous.
Yes,
so,
yes,
this is what that is. So, he is moving, that he runs fast, come on, he catches it, something like that. So, you must have watched many of them. Nowadays people only watch, do not listen to the commentary, but you should also listen to the commentary. Learners, we have learnt to use some vocabulary, that usage, how the figurative language is used. Then we also have noticed the form ing form present participle. So, you will be able to use it, but you should use it, then only you internalize it, make it permanent in you, and that makes you good language user. Fine learners, we have come to the close of this lesson, that is part 2. We will give you a piece of work to reflect on. One is, list out your dreams. What are your teenage dreams? Kriti, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Definitely.
lot of dreams. I want to become this, I want to become this. That is kind of ambition goal. What is your career ambition or life ambition? Another is what now you want to do. Just write it. I am not saying that you want to do many things. My parents do not allow my teach. That not that. Whatever you want to do, just think about it and write. So, we will meet you in part 3 of this lesson 8, going places, and we will do writing there. Please learners, we wish you that you go to places, you will be going to places and achieve great things in life. I thank you very much for having participated. Let me also thank Kriti.
Thank you, sir.
And we will meet you in part 3. Till then, bye bye, take care.